Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tipped. Julian here for another Drops episode. This is the Drops episode for Week 8. I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to jump right into it today, guys, and we're going to take a look at some forwards that you can consider cutting from your team. And the first one is Dylan Cousins of the Buffalo Sabres. He's playing on the second line right now, which isn't that great of a line, with Benson as well as with Peterka. And Peterka's been great, but Cousins not doing anything, and he's no longer on the top power play, even with Tage Thompson injured, which is kind of concerning. He's playing on the second power play only, and he hasn't done a whole lot of anything. At this point, guys, I consider dropping him in a lot of shallower leagues. He's really hurting your team right now to own. Then Vladimir Tarasenko is only playing on the third line in Ottawa, as well as the second power play. And it sucks, but at this point I have to say that Tarasenko is a drop in a lot of leagues at this point because he's not doing a whole lot of anything, and they're not giving him very good deployment. Adam Fantilli is another guy getting second line time, but overall the peripherals are not really that great, and he hasn't done enough to merit being owned in 26% of leagues. Ross Colton, 25% rostered, is someone who had a really nice hot streak at one point, but he is only a third line center, and he's not going to continue like he did earlier with that hot streak. He definitely can be dropped in like most of those leagues. And then Sean Monahan had an amazing hot streak at one point as well. Was playing very well for Montreal, but has slowed down tremendously and is someone that I would consider dropping in the vast majority of leagues that still own him. As far as defensemen go, guys, Hampus Lindholm is someone that I've had on this list a few times now, and he's still owning 65% of leagues. But he's done a whole lot of nothing all year. I don't know why so many of you guys are hanging on to this guy, because he's been kind of non-existent and definitely should be dropped from your team. Eric Gustafsson of the New York Rangers, while he has been phenomenal, fantastic while Adam Fox was gone playing on the top power play, Adam Fox has returned, so Eric Gustafsson's role is going to be diminished tremendously. And without the top power play time, his value is pretty much non-existent. He can be dropped in basically all leagues at this point. Tony DeAngelo is someone who has been a healthy scratch for 3-4 games in a row now. You can't have that on your team. I'm sorry, you could wait for him if you're like in the deepest league ever, but at this point, guys, Brent Burns is playing pretty well in that top power play, so they don't really need DeAngelo to be playing there right now. So I'm not holding my breath for Tony DeAngelo. Then Oliver Ekman-Larsson, 38% rostered with Montour back and playing on that top power play. OEL has very little value and definitely needs to be dropped in almost every single league. And finally, Luke Schenn plays as the 7th defenseman in Nashville in his first game back. Not a great sign. Did not put up a lot of peripherals because he didn't get a lot of ice time. If he keeps getting that kind of ice time, he's not really worth anything and should be dropped. Looking at goalies, I have Ville Husso and James Reimer both on this list. Ville Husso I'm not dropping just yet, hence the asterisk next to his name. But Reimer has already been eclipsed by Lyon on the depth chart, so Reimer is definitely someone that I'm more than happy to drop right now, but Husso is still getting starts as of right now. But if Lyons keeps playing well, he may even pass Husso on the depth chart, and then Husso is relegated to a backup goalie and might have to be dropped in most leagues. Devin Levi has been sent to the AHL, which was the best move for his development. Honestly, they still have two goalies in Comrie and UPL, so they didn't need to have Levi in the NHL. And this is why I warned people against drafting Devin Levi, because I told you that this could potentially happen. And it did, unfortunately. So Levi, unless you have an NA spot, can be dropped. Then I have all Habs goalies listed here. And the reason for that is because the Habs have 3 goalies. They have Jake Allen, Samuel Montembeault, as well as Caden Primo. And they seem to all be alternating starts, 1-1-1. So if you have a Habs goalie, you're waiting until 3 games after he played to get another start, which just is not enough start. So while I don't mind streaming Habs goalies, owning them long term just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And then Lucas Del Stal is just really not getting a lot of starts right now in Anaheim. In the last couple of starts he did get, he was absolutely horrendous. Gibson is the guy over there, and Del Stal can be dropped in almost every single league. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. If you enjoyed my drops content today, drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks so much for considering it, guys, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.